let's move on with website stories. Now, in this segment, Jonny and I choose an article, a video, an infographic, an ebook, something can help to review and react so that we can bring about some lessons about being a website marketer and owner in today's economy. So for this episode, Jonny, we've gone for a video, short video. Video was recorded for moz.com. We are fond of that brand and platform. Jason Dodge was the speaker presenter, founder and CEO of such marketing firm Black Truck Media Plus Marketing. And the title is fascinating to me. The title is as follows: Making Industry Landing Pages Engaging for B2B Companies. And this is part of the Whiteboard Friday video series, which I know you're very fond of as well. And it was fascinating because in the space of 5 minutes, which I think is also a lesson in there, James was able to share not only advice, but some warning as well, and allow you to just go away and reflect. And that could be almost a precursor of a team meeting or some exercise during a training session. And this all to do with this kind of accepted wisdom that if you want to target and attract a particular sector, currently the practice by and large is about rushing headlong and creating a landing pages to show the world how much you know about that sector, the sector page, the industry page and so on. And Jason is kind of warning us about two things. One, typically those pages will not perform so well in search. So you're going to already put yourself in danger of being criticized for the poor performance of that page, because it is quite rare for future customers to search for themselves, if that makes any sense. And then the other thing, therefore, to watch out for is, even if you were lucky enough to get people to land on that page, all they're going to see is a summary about an industry they know all too well, if like they may know better than
Probably
you.
more, yeah.
So Jason's advice is great. So forget about this. Think more about this idea of the B2B landing page to facilitate the sales process, to start dealing with that customer journey, what he calls sales enablement. And quite simply saying, please understand that the reality is your B2B customers are looking for a solution to a problem. They're looking for a mirroring, a repetition of who they are and what they do. So really, for a B2B landing page to be engaging, Jason says, challenge yourself and ask yourself, to what degree do I understand my audience as humans to begin with, their challenges, their pain points, their wishes for the future? And so he goes on. So really what I would call, of course, the audience profiling or persona, and then find ways for that knowledge and that discovery and that findings of problems, solutions in our results to be present on that landing page, to make it engaging, to not use any other measures. So just closing on that, because I want people to go and follow the hyperlink in the show notes and watch the video, but get your reaction. Jason finishes with this, saying the B2B landing page is the virtual handshake that brings people in and make everything more engaging for your brand.
Well, I think sectors are really important. However, I think the primary thing to focus on is the pain point, is what solution are you solving? What what pain point are you fixing? And it's only after that that someone's then thinking about the sector itself. So I think he's absolutely right in terms of, if you want a landing page to win and you want it to win really well, it has to talk in the right language. It has to straight away tap into what the problem is. What are they looking? You've got milliseconds for someone to decide if they're going to engage with a page or not, and even a website, never mind the page. And so you've got milliseconds to grab the sort of the big pain point and to then filter them through some kind of funnel in terms of the content, in terms of that sector. How you introduce that sector content, instead of leading with sector content saying, we know everything about manufacturing, and there's someone reading this thinking, well, no, actually I know more than you. And this is great, you're telling me all about manufacturing, but you've not mentioned my pain point and what I'm actually trying to achieve here. So there is a balance, and I think if you look at the past and you look at how people have done it in the past, it's very much been focused on the sector only. Whereas if you want to make a landing page really truly engaging, then I can see how this will certainly take this up a step in terms of that engagement and in terms of tapping into someone's pain point straight away. That's the key thing, straight away.
Yeah, and people watch the video at the very, very end. Jason gives examples back to that of what you can do to really add elements. And I think it's about this idea of, we talk about this a lot on the program and on this podcast, and this idea of being explicit as opposed to being implicit. So, people could say, well, yeah, but it's obvious, no? Well, you've got to express it, because ultimately it may well be that you're the fourth or the fifth website someone has visited, and this is the fourth and fifth time that they see a summary of their sector, and you're the only one that's even just mentioning the job title of the people that you deal with. You're the only one that's saying, and this is how we did what we did, and this is why we did it that way, because of that challenge and the need for that solution. And then you can add the case studies and the accreditations and so on and so forth. So it was just a very simple video, but as always, behind a very powerful message and reminder. And I think for me, it's also what I do a lot with my customers, Jonny, is about this idea of the website was launched maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, a bit longer, and to go back to the content and challenge yourself, saying, is it truly engaging, or is it just my first pass? This is like still the draft version of that website. I just went to the launch day and then had to get on with my day job and forgot a bit about it.
Well, unfortunately, anyone that thinks they can just build a website and they've ticked the box, then unfortunately, that's where you're going to fall, because it's ever evolving. Imagine it as a shop window on a high street, and most shop windows, redress every sort of 4 to 6 weeks, even. So, it's really important to keep your website fully up to date, but also on trend, on point, and in terms of really understanding your audience. So yeah, landing pages are especially if you're doing pay-per-click campaigns as well, you really need to tap into the issue straight away and really understand what that user is looking for, what that potential client, current client, whoever it might be in your community, what are they wanting immediately, and how can you address that straight away on a landing page, and then think of ways to give them that deeper content, to build that trust, to build the association deeper within the website, and sort of showcasing some of that on the landing page. But that key message has to be pain point focused. I would definitely agree.
Yeah, and for those of you listening, watching, in thinking that seems like a hard thing to do or time consuming, it's actually a lot easier than you might think. Just join, go on the road or attend virtual calls with all your customer facing colleagues and just listen and take notes. I mean, literally, just half a day with your colleagues who are in conversation regularly with your customers will reveal so much more, and then you can add on to that keyword research and the rest.